Falling in love. Many of us have a certain knack for sweating the small stuff. We become occupied with one struggle after another that nags us through the day and from one week to the next. But when we willingly allow ourselves to fall in love, struggles tend to fall by the wayside, as we become wholeheartedly immersed in directions of passionate interest and appreciation. Often we speak of falling in love with respect to an intimate relationship, but it can be expressed in any direction that elicits an intensity of affectionate passion. Even when the object of affection is a human being, the more significant aspect of the expression is not truly the other person, but rather a willingness to trust oneself completely and to align with a tone of energy that is deeply appreciative. Without this self-trust, we tend to block the action of falling in love, usually fearing the potential of some sort of pain, a broken heart, or other negative repercussion. Some may simply consider the act of falling in love to be childish. It is true that the young tend to be more willing to allow unbridled affections to flow. When we are young, we are eventually exposed, through popular culture or otherwise, to the intoxicating allure and intimacy of love, and most of us yearned to experience it ourselves. When it happens for the first time, there are usually few, if any, negative repercussions to be recalled, and thus many of the obstacles that inhibit us later in life from allowing ourselves to deeply love are removed. It is possible, however, to engage the pleasure of falling in love again and again, regardless of your age, and without ever being truly hurt emotionally or otherwise. This is not to say feelings like sadness, for example, will never arise in association with intimate relationships. But the fear of being hurt in love is a misunderstanding, for love is not the real cause of the suffering we experience in relationships. The hurtfulness is actually a result of other expressions that tend to become attached to or confused with love. Things like commitment, responsibility, moral judgment, expectations, and so forth. Not all of these are inherently sources of pain, and none of them are necessarily bad, but they do have more potential to lead to struggle and strife. By the time these types of expressions become strongly engaged, it is not uncommon for genuine expressions of love that may have been so dominant early in a relationship to have become few and far between. Some aspects of the quintessential fairy tale understanding of love that we learn early on can confound the issue. The fairy tale of love reinforces the idea that without a soulmate, you are somehow incomplete, and consequently, many engage intimate relationships in attempt to fill an emptiness they feel in themselves that in truth can only be filled from within. The relationship you have with yourself is the foundation of all your external relationships. Even if it is largely subconscious, most of us do possess a natural and healthy desire for interconnection and oneness. But for better or worse, our experience as human beings inherently involves some level of individuality and separation. Every human being holds unique intentions about what they want to explore and create here, and your relationship with your inner self is the only one guaranteed to align with all those intentions throughout your life. Though the idea of becoming so enmeshed with another that you lose yourself, as they say, may seem attractive and may even feel pleasurable in the moment, taken to an extreme, it is not so different from a drug experience and will likely leave you imbalanced or hurt. The challenge of distinguishing a balanced relationship from a self-deprecating or pathological one adds to the fears so many of us have about love. But the subject can be simplified by realizing that the expression of love itself, that essential beneficial component of an intimate relationship, is not complicated at all. It closely corresponds to the simple action of appreciation. it can be expressed with intensity, without fear of harmful consequences, and it is not explicitly tied to pair bonding. Though it can be directed toward another individual, it is just as beneficial when expressed in any direction, regardless of whether it is reciprocated. Genuine expressions of love are quite healthy and not at all a source of hurtfulness. In fact, allowing a tonal energy of love to flow through you and be projected outward is arguably necessary to manifest a complete state of health. From a pure healing standpoint, it may be more important that you allow yourself to express love than it is to have it projected upon you. But to receive love is also quite beneficial. And if you open yourself enough, receiving it is an eventual reflection of the love that is continuously within your power to express.